Good evening, Notre Dame class of 2030, and welcome home. My name is Micki, and I am privileged to serve as Notre Dame's Vice President for Undergraduate Enrollment. And tonight, I'm most excited to welcome you, the newest members of our talented, inspired, and faith-filled global Notre Dame family. To the students joining us this evening, congratulations. You have pursued your dreams, you've challenged yourselves, and you've dedicated time to benefit those around you. And to the grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, mentors, and friends joining us, thank you for the love, respect, and support you have consistently shown these impressive young people. Notre Dame is so deeply grateful for you. Students, we recognize that you have an important decision ahead. Where will you call home for the next 4 years and beyond? And while this may seem like a daunting decision, I encourage you to approach it with an open heart and mind. Energetic and bold dreams and enthusiasm. You have earned this, and please enjoy every moment. Tonight, I have the privilege of celebrating with you much that Notre Dame has to offer. Like most universities, our mission focuses on extraordinary scholarship, groundbreaking research, and rigorous learning environments. But as the leading Catholic global research university, there is another defining component to our mission that guides all that we do, and that is our Catholic character and our commitment to forming the full human person. There is a spirit, an ethos, and a sacred nature to this university, and I can't wait for you to experience it. Members of the Notre Dame class of 2030, again, welcome home. Tonight, many of you have submitted questions, and along with 3 wonderful current students, we are going to have a conversation to answer many of those. In addition to that, though, 2 of my extraordinary colleagues and friends, Deb Johns and Monica Newland, are responding to questions via chat. So I encourage you to please contribute more questions that you might have during our time together this evening on the chat feature, and we will respond to those throughout tonight's session as time permits. All right. Are we ready to begin?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Danny, all right. Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's have each of you introduce yourself, the very traditional Notre Dame introduction. And Ugo, you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ugo Marsico. I am a sophomore here studying psychology with a double minor in impact consulting and marketing. I am from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but my home under the dome is the amazing Siegfried Hall. And that's about it for me.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nicole Ilg. I'm a current senior here at the University of Notre Dame, double majoring in marketing and political science. I'm originally from Honolulu, Hawaii, but I actually graduated high school in Singapore. And my home under the dome was Pascarella West Hall, which I think is the best dorm on campus. No offense, guys. And I'll pass it off to Danny.
Yeah, hi guys, my name is Danny Miller. I'm a current senior here at Notre Dame studying biochemistry with a minor in compassionate care and medicine on the pre-med track. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan, but regardless of what they just said, I live in the best residence hall here at Notre Dame, Graham Family Hall, as an RA this year.
Okay, so we already heard a little bit of your pride about your residence halls. We're going to get to that a little bit later tonight, but a sophomore and 2 seniors, right? Okay, so lots of experience that you can share with those tuning in this evening, which we're very grateful for. Let's talk about traditions first. So a lot of people wrote in about traditions at Notre Dame, and there are many of them across this place. Can you share your favorite one? Danny, why don't you start 4 years into this? What's your favorite tradition at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I would say probably my favorite tradition. So a lot of people know about the alma mater at the
Yep.
University of Notre Dame. It's kind of our song we sing after every single sporting event we do here or after major events on campus. And it's kind of a love song to Our Lady's University, right? Now, I'm not just going to say when we sing it in general, but my favorite one is every single time we have a home football game here at Notre Dame. That weekend at the Basilica, we'll be singing up in the loft, and then at the very end of Mass, we'll all turn towards the Lady Chapel in the very back of the Basilica, and we'll actually all sing the Alma Mater together. So that's been a really incredible tradition for me, just to kind of bond with my fellow choir mates, but also just remember like how beautiful of a place we're at every single time.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nicole?
Yeah, I was going to say the alma mater is definitely one of mine as well. But other than that, I think one of my favorite traditions here is the Midnight Drummer Circle. So that happens on the Friday before every home game. Again, it's a way to ring in the spirit of the start of like the football season and all the different games. So how that works is at the drumline of the band, they'll come up to the Basilica and put on a performance, and students and the entire South Bend community is welcome to come and just, again, kick off that spirit for the home games. I think the football weekends, like, you see so much excitement and pride here. So it's definitely one of the highlights of being a Notre Dame student is being able to take part of that.
And when alums come back with their family, you
Mhm.
see a lot of people come back at midnight to
Oh,
experience
yeah.
this,
I'd
right?
say it's
It's
like
really fun.
it draws a really huge crowd, which is great to
Yeah,
see.
that's great. All right, Hugo, favorite tradition.
So I would have to say one of my favorite traditions on campus would definitely have to be the shirt for our first home game. We have this tradition for the past 25 plus years where we all wear a specific shirt designed by a team here on campus. And you just go to the first football game and you see so many people just showing their pride for this school and being able to know that you're a part of that, being able to see when we sing the alma mater at the end of the game, everyone stand up and just like a wave of whatever color that shirt is that year. I think it's always very special, and to me, it's something that I'm glad to be a part of.
Perfect. All right. So, many of or all of you in your introductions, you referenced your residence halls. So we don't have a Greek system here, but we do have these amazing residence halls that become your family in many ways. And they also provide leadership experiences, and they also have traditions, right? So will each of you remind everyone tuning in again, what hall are you in? What's the mascot? Because they all have mascots, right? If you've played a leadership role in them, maybe share a little bit about that. And what's your favorite dorm tradition? Hugo. Let's
Okay.
go right back around. We'll do a little
Yeah.
snake action here. Okay.
So I am from the best men's dorm on campus, Siegfried Hall. Go Ramblers, guys. We are Ramblers are like a set of Vikings, but the whole thing about my dorm is that there's just so much brotherhood there. And I think that's a really important thing for all of the dorms here. We might not have like fraternities or sororities, but that sisterhood, that brotherhood is something you still find a lot here. And I, for myself, I know was kind of worried going to this new dorm setting, being like, oh my gosh, this is my first time of college. I'm a freshman. I don't know what to do.
Hmm.
But being met with those open arms of the Ramblers and the people I now call basically brothers to me, I think was really important. And one of my favorite things that we do, which is our dorm tradition every year, is called the Day of Man. Basically, we wear some shorts, a nice little tank top, sometimes cropped a little bit, in the middle of February, and we raise money for the homeless here in South Bend. So it's on a cold day, but everyone gets super worked up about it. We're all suffering in the cold together, and we all can see each other from across the quad, just kind of say, "Hey, go Ramblers, you got this!" And it's just super fun, especially when the professors shout us out in the middle of class. I was in, I believe, one of my classes about 100 students, and the
You got
professor,
called out.
yep, he was like, "Hey, you're in Siegfried Hall. Why don't you tell us about what's going on today?" So kind of stood up and got to explain it, and it got a couple of people to donate to the cause, so it was really special.
That's great. And there's some solidarity there, and you're giving back to the local community, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Good for you. All right, Nicole, how about you?
Yeah, I always tell people that I think residential hall life is really the heart of community here on campus. It is one of your first touch points into the Notre Dame community. I remember when I pulled up out front of my residence hall as a freshman, I was nervous to start college, but I was immediately greeted by upperclassmen who were like holding signs and saying they were so excited to meet me. They're blasting music. My dorm's mascot is a weasel, so there's actually someone dressed up in a full weasel suit. So that definitely was like a core memory for me. And one of my favorite residential hall traditions has to be called P-Dub's Closet. And so how that works is that we take clothing donations all throughout campus, and then we put on like a mini thrift store outside one of our student centers, and students are able to buy other students' clothes for a really discounted price.
Hmm.
But all the proceeds go to Women's Center here in South Bend. So again, as Ugo was saying, it is similar to Greek life in a sense because you have like that community, that connection to service. But we like to say it has all the good and none of the bad because unlike Greek life, there's no rushing here. So you're automatically accepted just by being a student here, which again, for me, being really far from home, it definitely helped my transition to Notre Dame.
You're included, you're respected, you're
Mhm.
loved from day one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep. Love that. Danny, how about you?
Yeah, so just as a reminder, I live in the best hall, Graham Family Hall. Go Royals. We're the newest hall on campus, so we opened just 2 years ago. So we have the best AC system, elevators, accommodations. It's fantastic. But to echo what you two have been saying, like residential life system here at Notre Dame, I think is one of the most important parts of what forms undergraduate students. I know for me, at least, as soon as you show up, it's not this process of trying to like fit into your hall or be accepted into the group. You're immediately welcomed during that first welcome weekend as an important member of that residence hall, where you're not just showing up to eat, sleep, and study, but it's a place where people really know you by name and they want you to be a part of that community. And for me, as an RA this year, resident assistant, a senior living in the hall, the reason I chose to stay on is because I've seen the impact living with these other people at Notre Dame can have on each person. I know for me, like my sophomore year, I had a really hard time kind of like navigating that year academically and figuring out social things. But my RAs and the seniors in the hall who were there to support me through it all were incredibly helpful in that whole process. So one of our favorite traditions we do every single Sunday is we'll actually go on a grotto walk where the whole hall will come together and then we're all going to walk across campus, which is quite a distance all the way from Graham Hall to the grotto. But we'll go there, pray together, kind of enjoy the week, reflect on what's been good, what's been bad, and support each other. So residential life for me has been incredibly supportive, but also just an incredible family of guys just to come back to every single day too.
That's great. Now, just to confirm, in case some of the viewers tonight have never visited campus, and some university campuses are very large, this is a pedestrian campus. So while Graham Family Hall is far from the grotto, how long of a walk is that?
Yeah, I kind of overestimate. It's only 12 minutes.
12 minutes, exactly. I mean, this isn't a 30-minute walk here, Danny.
No, not at all.
Okay, so just to underscore.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, stay on residence life here for a second. And Danny, maybe you can respond to this. Can you share with the group how roommates are assigned? Because that's a little bit different at Notre Dame as well.
Yeah, I know a lot of universities sometimes will send out like a survey or like you're going to try to match with someone on like it's almost like a dating app for a roommate to a degree. At Notre Dame, we don't have that kind of matching system. The only two stipulations I recall is that they can't be from the same high school as you and they can't be from the same zip code. So you're truly going to be with a roommate you don't know at Notre Dame. And that can be a nerve-wracking process, honestly, like being paired with someone you've never met before. The fortunate thing about Notre Dame is they're looking for people who are warm, who are welcoming, who want to dive into community. So I know for me coming to Notre Dame, my first year roommate, my friend Ryan, him and I couldn't be more different. He was like this varsity football player in high school, and I was kind of this nerdy kid who like ran track and sang in choirs and did musicals in high school. And I was like, how is this possibly going to work, right? But lucky enough for me, we got along so well. He was super welcoming and kind of really wanted to develop a friendship with me. And we're still friends to this day. We were roommates for 2 years. Then I was abroad my third year and we lived right across from each other when I got back. And then finally the senior year, I still go over to their apartment a bunch off campus. Last night I was just over there hanging out with them. So the roommate process, it is random, but the people at Notre Dame are great. And you're going to find an incredible roommate and friend.
That's great. You mentioned you studied abroad. Many students at Notre Dame study abroad. Tell us where you went, and then I'm curious to hear if either of you did that as well or are planning to. Okay, all right. Okay, yes, Danny.
Yeah, so I started by going to Dublin in the fall of my junior year. So I was at the University College Dublin, and I was kind of nervous going abroad because I was like, I don't really know anyone I'm going with. I'm going to live on a different campus in a different country, 7 hours ahead from where we are. And I was kind of nervous. Am I going to be able to keep up with classes? Will the financials transfer over to this new school? Is it going to work? Luckily, Notre Dame is incredibly supportive in that process, and that they're going to make sure you're taking classes while you're abroad that actually count towards your major back here at Notre Dame. So when you come back, you're not going to be behind on your classes, but right where you should be. In addition to this, they like to also say that Notre Dame's financial aid travels with you. So all the financial support I was receiving while I was here on campus, I was also getting while I was abroad too. So it was a great experience getting to explore all around Europe, meeting new friends, traveling across Ireland, and really getting to encounter that culture. So it was a really incredible experience.
That's so great. Nicole, how about you?
Yeah, so I also studied abroad. I was in London this time last year for the spring semester, and London is actually one of Notre Dame's global gateways. So what that means is that Notre Dame has their own academic building there, their own residential hall-like building there, which made the transition super easy. It meant that all my credits automatically transferred because we were taught by Notre Dame professors. So I loved living in London for a semester. It's a pretty big cohort there. There's like 150 students.
Yeah.
So it felt like pretty surrounded by Notre Dame students. We all took trips together, which was really fun. Pretty much everybody I know just absolutely raves about their study abroad experience.
Yeah.
For me, it was something I knew I wanted to do in high school was to study abroad. So I think what's great about Notre Dame is they have so much flexibility in terms of their programs. Whether you want to study abroad for a semester, for a summer, or even for a full year, there are so many options available to you. And again, we find that a lot of students, especially me, like wanted to study abroad in the spring to not miss football season in the fall. So I was very grateful that I was able to do that.
And just to underscore that, because of the flexibility, semester, summer, fall break, spring break, etc., we work hard on those offerings to ensure that regardless of major, students are able to study abroad in some capacity. It used to be that, engineering students, perhaps they were worried they couldn't study abroad. That's not the case. And study abroad is very accessible for all students. Are you going abroad next year?
Actually, I'm going abroad this year.
Ah,
And I kind of went abroad last year. I was able to go with the club, the Notre Dame Glee Club. We went to Spain last year to do a tour in the summer. And that was kind of my first introduction to abroad. Before that, it was kind of like a foreign concept to me coming into college. Just like, whoa, like we get to travel abroad.
right.
It obviously can't be that easy, right? But here, it's just such a supported process. I felt as a student super supported in what I was doing. I was able to kind of learn the ropes of what it meant to be abroad. And first diving in with a club my first year here definitely made it a lot easier to kind of get used to what that travel will end up being like. And then I applied ultimately to the Dublin program this summer and I got accepted. So I am super excited about that. And I think just being able to take some classes over in Dublin, I'm taking a theology course. I know that one I'm super excited about because I know that Catholicism had like a huge basis in Dublin or in Ireland especially. So just being able to go to a different part of the world and learn something similar that I would learn here, just from a different view, I think is something very exciting.
Good for you. Congrats.
Thank you.
Excited for you. So every year, students come from literally all over the world to come to school here, right? All 50 states represented, multiple U.S. territories. Last year or this fall, 85 different countries represented in the first year class. So students from all over the world. You've probably traveled the furthest, right, from your hometown of the three of you. So will you talk a little bit about, you moved from, Hawaii and ultimately Singapore, I suppose, for your senior year to South Bend, Indiana. What was that like? Was it hard? How was that transition? Just share a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think being so far away from home can be difficult at times. Like for some of those shorter breaks, obviously, it doesn't make sense to go all the way back to Hawaii or to Singapore.
Yeah.
But I think the community that I found here on campus is really what made Notre Dame feel like home. I remember my freshman year, my RA was such a huge resource for me. I actually was able to move in early because of international student orientation. So she was one of the first people I met on campus and really showed me the ropes. I also think a lot of our cultural clubs here on campus are a great way to connect with your culture and share it with the wider Notre Dame community. For instance, I'm part of the Notre Dame Hawaii Club, and we host an annual luau every year. It's actually this Saturday, so you guys should come.
Put it on the
for
calendar.
free.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's a really great way. Again, whenever I'm homesick, I have that Notre Dame Hawaii Club to connect back to. And again, it's really amazing that there's so many opportunities to get other people involved with it for the events, again, like the luau, or we host like other events throughout the year. So I think all of that really helps with the homesickness at times.
Yeah.
And again, it makes you feel like you're closer to home. So that support has been amazing for me.
That's great. Okay, let's continue on the word support. I do actually think that's such a defining component of this whole undergraduate experience. And a lot of that comes from faculty. So can you maybe, Ugo, talk about in the classroom or share about a particular faculty member who in your couple of years here has supported you during your time at Notre Dame?
Yes. So my freshman year, there was a word that I was always super scared of, and that was research. Looking at any college, it was just like, wow, research seems like such a big deal, and maybe I'm not ready for that. So my freshman year, I was trying to avoid anything research related until I took a writing and rhetoric course, and Professor Capdeville, he was my professor. He did an amazing job just kind of nudging me in the right direction of like what I would want to do. It started off kind of slow, start off with an idea. What would you like to research? I was an engineering student, but I was interested in psychology and modern day advertising. Some people like see memes on different companies online and they think, why does that kind of go towards the people that are on Instagram, Facebook, whatever app they use. So I decided, hey, I'm going to do research on that. I'm going to start with that. And it starts with like a little abstract of what you want to do, getting your sources, and taking those steps slowly but surely, with a great teacher who was just like kind of like making sure I was doing well and making sure that I understood what I was doing. It made me feel so much better about the opportunity of research here
That's
at
great.
Notre Dame. And I'm taking a class right now actually based on research. So it's very exciting.
You went from being scared to now diving all in.
Yes.
That's good. That's great. Your whole program of compassionate care is actually about support and empathy and supporting humans. Is there someone from the academy or a faculty member who's been just an incredible mentor?
Yeah, I would say the one that first comes to mind for me, who I've been writing all about in like my pre-med applications right now, is Dr. Kate Callahan. She works over at Memorial Hospital here as a family medicine doc. But she takes time out of her schedule to actually come back to the university because she always tells us, I really just love being in the classroom with young people who want to become doctors that influence who they're going to be. And she's just done an incredible job of showing us that being like in medicine and being a doctor, it's not just about being the smartest person in the room. It's not about being the person who can figure out what's going on with someone. It's really about how can you establish a relationship with a patient and look at them as someone that you want to walk alongside and support. So her in her role, she's really gone above and beyond, and she's had us over to her house for dinner before. We've actually gone and grabbed coffee before, but she's been incredibly helpful in helping me figure out how can I integrate what I love about science and medicine, but also with who I am as a person and my faith. So she's been incredibly influential in kind of forming me in who I want to be in my future career as well.
Yeah, I cannot say enough great things about her. Notre Dame alumna, comes back to this community, wants to give back in so many ways, professionally to Notre Dame students. And, you know, she's one of many Notre Dame alumni who returned to South Bend because of the community and are so selfless. So I'm so glad. I didn't know that. I didn't know.
She's so cool. She's awesome.
She is really amazing. Nicole, you've done some research during your time at Notre Dame. So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. I think a lot of times when we have this idea of research, our common conception is like STEM-based research, which definitely takes place here at Notre Dame. But I always like to highlight my own research experience, which was in the humanities field. So I actually conducted research while I was abroad in London. I took a research-based class called the Kennedy Scholars Seminar. And I did research for a semester about how food acts as a cultural bridging force across different immigrant communities throughout London. So that was an amazing process.
Wow.
As part of that class, we visited archives all throughout England. I got to visit a lot of restaurants and try food from different cultures, talk to the owners and see like what their dishes meant to them, how it's changed throughout time. So that was a really amazing research project. It was a partnership with Durham University. So we even visited the university and I was able to present my research to other scholars in the field. So I always like to say that whatever you have an interest for or passion for here at Notre Dame, there are definitely opportunities to study that. And again, that we're not limited by anything. So whether you have interest in food or literature or music, there's so many different avenues. So that also is one of the highlights of my abroad experience.
Love that. Absolutely love that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I was going to say the meals I ate were like amazing.
Yes,
So
research
still think about
via
them.
food. That sounds like something we all should do, right? Good for you. So your academic program has been demanding, right? And I think preparing you for a phenomenal career and opportunity in the future.
Only like 9 years to go.
Yeah, exactly. You got a long road, Danny. Long road. But you've had to balance this, right? So rigorous academics. And you are just this most well-known, amazing, socially integrated human, right, on this campus. How do you balance that?
You know, it's definitely been a challenge at some points. But I think Notre Dame does a great job of giving you the resources to try to figure out how do you actually put together a schedule where you're doing like 20 activities in one day, then also like about 4 hours of class at the same time. But I think number one, I've become the master of Google Calendar. If you look at my GCal, it's just like a completely planned out day at this point. But in addition to that, it's also just kind of figuring out what are some of the resources on campus I can use to kind of help me figure out how to manage my time correctly. Because obviously as Notre Dame students, the experience here isn't just about like getting an education in the classroom and doing well in your classes. We also want to become well-rounded people while we're here too. And I think a part of that is Notre Dame wants to challenge you to be able to balance this life very well. So once you're in the professional world, you're able to take care of your job, but also focus on your family, your hobbies, what you want to do, and help you be that well-rounded person. So for me, one of the great resources I've used is actually the McWell Center for Student Support and Wellbeing here on campus. I've actually gone to them last semester when I was trying to figure out how do I actually like put together a calendar where like I'm going to be up late, like being an RA, but I also have all these classes and I have all these things going on campus. And they were able to work with me and help me figure out this is how you put together a sleep schedule that works for you. Very just practical skills that like make it possible to be a student here and be successful.
That's great. What about activities that you guys have done? Because Notre Dame students are busy.
Yeah.
All part of the experience. And we have over 400 student activities that in clubs that students can do. Will you guys give a few examples of different clubs and activities that you've participated in? Nicole, you want to start?
Sure. I was going to say, I think one of the clubs that I've been a part of that's been a highlight is SIBC, also known as Student International Business Council. I've been a project leader with them for the past couple of years. So actually in the fall, I led a project with the Orlando Magic basketball team. So me and a team, we were able to go to Orlando and present there to them and even stay for a basketball game, which was really fun. So that's an activity that I think really helped me with also connections to internships or job opportunities. I'd also say working for admissions has honestly been one of my favorite activities I've done here.
Yay.
Like,
Did not pay you to say that, but thank you very much.
I love working for admissions. Me and Danny have been interns for the past 3 years. So being able to talk to prospective students and share my experience about why I love Notre Dame, why I chose it, and even just like helping them throughout the college process journey has been so rewarding. So I've loved being a part of it. And for anybody who's watching, if you guys have been to an info session or visited McKenna Hall, there's a chance that you've probably seen all three of us at a certain point. So again, I just love working for admissions.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, I actually would have to agree with that last thing. I absolutely love working in admissions. I think one of the most rewarding parts about that isn't even about the people I work under, but the people I work for. I work for the opportunity to tell these students about what an amazing thing this school is, what the amazing university it is, but also being able to be a support to those future students. Coming from a place where I didn't know anyone coming here, so being able to just say, hey, I can understand that maybe this might be something you're going through, or this might be something you might go through, but being able to say that I'm that support at times, I think is really important to me, and I absolutely love that part of my day always. And the second thing I absolutely love here on campus is the Notre Dame Glee Club, and I will shout that every day of the week. We're an all-men's choir on campus, and the amount of opportunity I've had to just like expand my own like repertoire of music, but also to travel, which surprised me. Over every fall and spring break, we do like little tours around the U.S., and every other year during the summer, we do a tour internationally. So that's how I was able to go to Spain last summer. But we went to places like Canada last fall. This spring, actually, we just came back from the West Coast. We did an Arizona and California trip. So just being able to find those opportunities, because I'd never been to the West Coast before. So it's just a wow moment. And like this club does so much for me, and I want to give back to it. I love doing stuff for it. So
That's great.
Yeah.
You'll have to come back. So periodically, the Glee Club alumni will come back and do concerts here on campus. So years from now, we expect to see you, Ugo, on the stage at DeBartolo Performing Arts Center. There you will be. So faith is core to this institution. Since 1842, when Father Edward Soren founded it, and today, absolutely core to the university or to the student experience. Can you speak a little bit about maybe what your experience with faith has been as a student the last 4 years, Danny?
Yeah, I would probably say so. I came from a Catholic background, so I was hopefully looking for a Catholic university where I could try to embrace that. But I think Notre Dame is really great at allowing people who have those kind of bigger questions about what is faith, what is the purpose of my life. It's a great place where you can go and actually like ask those questions. So for me, at least, one of the biggest shocks I first had is when I got to campus, and I'd heard about it, but I didn't like realize how big of a deal it was, is that every single residence hall on campus has its own chapel within the building. So what's great about this is every single Sunday that community will come together and they'll actually like celebrate mass together. Some halls have like big snacks after. So like Dillon Hall, for example, has like their milkshake mass, which is pretty cool. We're working on getting our own in Graham. We're still the best hall though. But we have a bunch of faith traditions on campus. So if you're someone who's looking to ask those questions, we have so many resources between the faculty here on campus with our theology programs, but also we have a basilica on campus, the grotto. We have multiple signs of our faith that allow people who are Catholic to practice as well. But we also have resources for students of any faith background, whether you're Catholic or no faith at all, anywhere in between. We want to make sure you are able to access those resources. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we have one of the biggest campus ministry staffs in the country.
Yes,
Is that right?
I think it's second largest in terms of number of full-time employees, which is fabulous.
And like the tangible effect that I've seen of that for people, whether it's like going to iron sharpen its iron or just going to a mass at the basilica during a weekday, there's so many ways for you to get involved with your faith, whether you want transportation to your place of worship or you want to be on campus doing an event. There's always some way to engage more with your faith. I know right now I'm going through the short course process as a sponsor. So I'm actually supporting someone who's going to get confirmed just after Easter. So if you have those big questions and you want to embrace them, this is the place to be. And that's been incredible.
Yeah. I do think we're probably the only university who the leader of campus ministry gets the loudest cheers at a football game, is a fencer on social media. Did you see him in the fencing? Yes.
Video.
And is a DJ some nights, right? So for anyone who is attending the rally, you will see Father Pete McCormick in his element, but he is a phenomenal leader on this campus and just such a giving human, right, to every single student. So Father Pete McCormick, absolutely amazing. You mentioned earlier, and actually we've talked a little bit about this with all of you about preparation for careers and kind of life after Notre Dame, right? Nicole, can you expand a little bit about how your experience at Notre Dame has prepared you for your career? And in particular, maybe talk a little bit about internships and what that experience has been.
I was going to say, there have been so many resources during my time here at Notre Dame to help me prepare for that. I think one of the best is our Career Center, Marullo Center for Career Development. And so I've gone and they've helped me like take headshots for my LinkedIn profile. There's so many career counselors in the industry you want to specialize in. So they've helped me prep for interviews or even like set up introductions for me. So I found them to be a really great resource when looking for internships or jobs post-grad. I also always love to highlight our alumni network on that note. I think we have one of the most powerful alumni networks in the country, and they're an amazing resource as well. A little fun fact is like the first internship I've ever done, I got that through Notre Dame alumni. And that happened actually even before I stepped foot here on campus. I was like newly admitted to Notre Dame. I just accepted, and there was the Notre Dame Club of Singapore, and they had a send-off there. And so I met an alumni, and he was just like, hey, if you want to work with me this summer, and get some experience, feel free. So I did that. I interned with him through the summer, just right off the bat. And he's someone who I still keep in touch with to this day. I try to see him when he visits for football games. So I feel like that really kind and giving nature of the Notre Dame Alumni Network here is really great when, again, you're looking for internships or jobs for postgrad. So I've definitely tapped into that network, and it's helped me, get interviews and leads that way.
Good for you. Did all of you stick with are all of you majoring in exactly what you thought you were going to major in when you arrived at Notre Dame?
Not at all.
Not at all. Okay. Tell us about that, because this is also different about Notre Dame. So many institutions, you have to say what you're going to major in, and then that's what you're doing, right? But it's different here. Talk about your journey.
So I decided to come here as a computer science in the School of Engineering as a major. And throughout that first year, I was going through my classes and I was like, maybe I'll switch to computer engineering, right? Computer science, computer engineering, just a little more electrical work. But then it hit me midway through that last semester, my spring semester, freshman year, that people will sometimes talk about finding what you love, and that's really something you jump into. And I would see these professors at 9 a.m. talk about physics, talk about chemistry, and they would absolutely love it. And for me, I was like, I don't know if this is what I'm feeling. Like, I want to feel that passion for what I'm learning about. I want to feel that love for what I want to do. So I decided, you know what? I'm a little interested in psychology. I want to see where this goes. And just trying to figure out, how to make that transition. Talking to my advisor, she was super helpful. She was able to say, hey, here are the classes you need to take. This is the major you want to switch to. And here's how you can graduate within 4 years. So still being on track, even though it was a big switching from the School of Engineering to the School of Arts and Letters.
Yeah.
But also being able to say, hey, I have some time and I want to go into maybe business after I graduate, So being able to say now I have a minor in impact consulting and marketing on top of that major in psychology after switching my first year, knowing that Notre Dame has that support for me to be able to make those switches, for me to be able to find myself. I think that's something that this institution values for all of their students. And not only for me, but so many of my friends have been switching, even now, their majors from like strategic management to history, just like no matter how big the swap is,
Yeah.
knowing that you'll have people here to support you, people here to guide you.
Yeah. It's a really important component of how we approach education and discernment and formation in terms of investing in your full human formation. So, and yours, did you start out?
Yeah,
Switch Purdue?
I've been the same the
You've
whole
been the
time.
same. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But you're now let's celebrate. You just got good news. You got great news.
This is true. I'll actually be staying in South Bend for another year, which is super fun, doing my gap year before medical school while I'm applying, where I'll be working at St. Joe's Hospital. It's a solely Notre Dame fellowship, so only seniors from Notre Dame who have just graduated can go and do it, and they'll cover your stipend for the year. They'll also make sure you're getting shadowing hours, clinical hours, and they give you a lot of support just to work on your secondary applications and everything to get ready for medical school. So they've been
Great.
very supportive the whole time through the past 4 years.
It's great. I'm curious, when you guys were seniors in high school and you get accepted to Notre Dame, I mean, you're all incredibly talented, very bright. You all did very well in high school. But then you think about going to college. Were you intimidated? Were you overwhelmed? Did you think about that academic journey? What were your thoughts about like the next 4 years and what you're about to take on? Just what was going through your mind?
I guess since I'm the most recent, maybe I'll answer this.
Oh, we just got called old, I think.
So that was
But yeah, no, coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, for me, I didn't hear about Notre Dame except the football. That was really huge. All of my friends will talk about Notre Dame football, not in high school, even in middle school. So that was kind of the school that I like. That's what I knew about the school. And then researching colleges, obviously, I was looking for a strong program and what I wanted to do, something with, a good network to be able to say, like, this is what, maybe if I get a degree here, obviously, I want to be able to use that degree for good. And Notre Dame came up. And I think just getting accepted, that was like a complete, like, wow moment for me. I still have the video of my mom in tears. Shout out, Mom, if she ever watches this. But it was just astonishing moment. I remember reading it and thinking, no way. Mid-sentence, by the way, while I'm reading my acceptance. And it took so long to kind of track. Now, my mom was already, like, hysterical. By the time I got to the sentence, like, welcome home, I was like, wait, no way this is happening. And then leading up to it, it was definitely a little nerve-wracking just because this is a huge step. I have to move 10 hours away. I know almost nobody who's going there because no one from my high school applied. So it was kind of like a by myself move. And it was definitely like a little bit of like scary,
Sure.
But then I got here and I think all of it like went away in the most like amazing way possible, being greeted by the people like literally in the driveway of my dorm, just all shouting, all grabbing my stuff right out the car to be carried upstairs. My roommate coming in, being from South Bend, he was able to show me a little bit of the ropes as well about like what the school was like, what the city was like, and then going to that first hall meeting during welcome weekend and seeing everyone so excited there and everyone so just friendly and welcoming. That literally put all my fears to rest. And since then, I've absolutely loved it here.
I mean, you seem to be flourish. You are really doing so well. You're flourishing. You're traveling everywhere. You're doing great in something that you are passionate about. So happy for you.
Thank you so
Really
much.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the time remaining, final question for all of you. I'm really curious. There's a lot of people online right now watching, hearing from all of you about this incredible experience you've had here. Put yourself back in their shoes, 4 years ago, 2 years ago. And what would you tell yourself 4 years ago and 2 years ago about why you should say yes to Notre Dame? And ultimately, why should these young people who've been admitted, why should they say yes to the Notre Dame class of 2030? What do you think?
I think that saying yes here just opens the door to so much opportunity I couldn't even have imagined as a senior here, like going abroad, going abroad with a club, even being able to be confident in my major switch, say, hey, maybe this isn't what I like, but having that support to find something I do really enjoy and finding that support to succeed. I think this is something you won't find anywhere else. And especially the environment and the community of the campus is also something that Notre Dame holds really near and dear to their heart. There are so many people here who go above and beyond for each other and that are so supportive of each other. And as like a college, or going into college is kind of like, what if I don't get the best grades? What if I don't do too well in classes? But being here, it's never been an issue. It's always been support, support, support from students, from faculty, from advisors. Just knowing those people are behind you always is something very special.
That's great. Thank you, Hugo.
Yeah, I think echoing what you said, I remember being a high school senior 4 years ago and having to make that decision of where to go to school. And when I was a senior, it was the pandemic, so I wasn't able to travel or go to campuses. So I really leaned on talking to current students and alumni. And I think a common theme I found with Notre Dame is how much they loved the school. Like you could just feel it when they were talking about it. And when I was comparing like the other schools I got into, I didn't feel that same energy or passion as I did talking to Notre Dame students. Like everybody was telling me like coming to Notre Dame was the best decision I ever made. It's been the best 4 years. Like I love it here. And so I think hearing that passion, I was like, if everybody's telling me this is the best decision, then surely like I have to do it and take that chance. And now being a senior and my time here is coming to an end, definitely bittersweet. And I can say that they were all right for sure. Deciding to come to Notre Dame was the best decision I ever made in my life. And that's something I say, like, I don't say lightly, but I'm so grateful to have been here. And I think Notre Dame really shapes all its students to be such a well-rounded person. We always say, like, we cultivate the mind, body, and the soul here. So I'm so grateful to have had that experience. And if that's something that resonates with you guys in the audience and what you're looking for out of college, then you're at the right place, because I think no other school does that better than Notre Dame.
Beautiful. I'm so glad you're here, Nicole. That's lovely.
How am I supposed to follow?
I don't know, Danny. I don't know. Pretty much mic drop by Nicole there.
Okay, right. I just turn off the mic right now.
That's right.
But yeah, I think it's already been echoed by this panel so far. But at Notre Dame, I think when you step on a campus, there's like a tangible feeling in the air that this is home. I think there's a lot of universities you could choose where you could go and do some of the best academics. You do incredible research. You could prepare for medical school super well. You could be incredibly involved with many clubs and activities. But I think the biggest thing I found in Notre Dame is that the community and the people and the family that I have found here is something I will forever treasure after the past 4 years. And if I could look back at like that senior who was sitting on that couch when he opened that letter that he got accepted, I would just tell him, like, prepare to have like the best 4 years of your life and savor every single moment, because there's a reason I want to stay for another year at Notre Dame and do my gap year, is because I love it so much here. And to everyone watching today, I just want to tell you, like, if you want a place where you can call home for the next 4 years, this is the place, and you'll feel so welcome and you will thank yourself so much because it's incredible.
That's great. Well, you guys are amazing. I love having you in McKenna Hall. I'm glad that you love it there as well. And I'm really inspired and so grateful for each of you. So thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you.
And to everyone tuning in this evening, thank you for your time. Thank you for your questions. And thank you for being the incredible humans that you are. We genuinely hope to see you in 2 different times. So we hope to see you at the rally, April 19th and 20th. It is a magical 2 days on this campus. I cannot underscore that sufficiently enough. Join us. Join us to meet your new classmates. Join us for master classes, meet some amazing faculty, engage in some incredible social gatherings. And it is an experience that you will leave with spirits buoyed and a love for Notre Dame that will persist. And then secondly, we can't wait to see you next fall, when you are officially welcomed as the newest members of the Notre Dame family. And we know that you will enrich this campus in amazing and beautiful and inspiring ways. So God bless all of you. Congratulations again. And thank you for the many ways that you make the community around you better. We hope to see you soon. God bless, and go Irish.